love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted. Stay humble. I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted. Stay humble. I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted. Stay humble.
I love that tune. I love that tune. Thank you, Mr. Nura Beats. Big up, people, everyone. Please hit the like button, subscription button, and notification button. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Been busy. Now I am back to do this again. We've got 2 shows today, 3 shows, I think. I think Nalante and JK are going to do an afternoon show around 3 o'clock. And we're back for 9:30. We're back on the evening panel shows again. You guys want to join in? Join in. It's about the Carabao Cup final and all things Liverpool Football Club, if you know what I mean, people. Get on the chats, people. That's what I'm here for. So, you know, we could discuss, obviously, the press conference, which Arne is going to be talking about. We're going to talk about the Premier League. We're going to talk about the Champions League exit. And we're going to be talking about, obviously, the players, because a lot of people are talking about our players currently. You know, players that should leave after that, you know, Champions League, you know, last 16 exit. And I've got, you know, transfers to talk about as well, which is 2 strikers that's playing. One is playing Atletico Madrid and the other one is playing for Newcastle. So we'll figure out who suits us more out of the 2. So when I put my, you know, formation up, you could discuss it from there. I know which one I want. I mean, a lot of people want the other one, but I think I'll put a good case for the one I'm talking about later on, who used to play for Man City, because I think he suits us more. He suits us more. I'm going to be talking about both of them, you know, the one for Newcastle and Atletico Madrid. But I think the Atletico Madrid one suits us more, and I'll explain why. Because I don't think, you know, we talk about tactically what can the player bring to Liverpool, if you know what I mean. Maybe we could have used this player for the last game in the Champions League against PSG. So, yeah, there's a lot of controversial stuff happening in the Champions League at the moment. Real Madrid got through due to, you know, the Atletico Madrid player apparently his penalty coming off his leg twice. I think to myself, well, it's by accident. Why can't he take it again? I know it's the rules of the game, all that stuff, but it's really stupid. You know, I mean, if a goalkeeper comes off the line and you know saves a shot, that penalty will be retaken, you know what I mean? So it just doesn't make any sense to me. I think the rule has to be changed, you know what I mean? And you know, make it easier for everybody else, if you know what I mean? Because it's unfair. A guy done an accident penalty, you know, and then you tell him, like, you can't take it again, and they're out of the competition. It's weird. Very strange. Yeah, we're going to do this, obviously, the press conference. Then we could discuss all things Liverpool after that. I'm here for you guys, man. So come on, get on the chat and say whatever you want. Big up Cedric, big up Joe, big up Jason, big up. So yeah, let's start with the press conference. Then we move on to the rest of the things, man. Let's go. So I haven't watched the press conference. I don't know nothing about it. I know it started around 10 a.m. So this is the press conference for the Carabao Cup final, which is this Sunday against Newcastle at Wembley, Anfield South, as many of us call it. So yeah, let's see what he's saying about, you know, probably he's talking about the Champions League game as well as the players. And, you know, let me just put it this way. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. You know what I mean? Our fan base, majority are not happy at the moment. We're top of the league. we're in the Carabao Cup final. Champions League, we're out. I know. FA Cup, we're out. I know. But it still can be a special season, guys, man. I don't know where this negativity is going to come from. Normally, I am the one who, gets angry and says it how it is. And, but I look at it from a point of view as an overall, um, which is, we didn't expect this. And we haven't got the depth, as many people say, trying to manipulate everybody here, that we've got depth. You saw the other day, we don't have depth. Depth is what, when players come on and change the game, like Origi's, Shaqiri's in the past that we had. We don't have that anymore. So we've got to be realistic that where we are at the moment, the first 11 have done all they can this season, all they can. That's why you see them, struggling in games. Too many games, man. Too many games. And nobody looks into that. Everybody just wants to criticize our players. They gave it their all, man. They gave it their all. All we have to do is support them through the final 9 games of the Premier League and the Carabao Cup final. That's all we can do. All this negativity, death threats, and all this stuff, I don't understand where it's coming from. What did you expect from Darwin Núñez? What do you expect from Curtis Jones? You're only going to get 2 sides. Sometimes they play good, sometimes they play bad. There's never in the middle with them two. So just don't be too negative. No matter what, this can be a special season. And next season, we make it, we've got to crawl before we walk, in it. So we did the big one. Next season, hopefully we'll do 2, which is the Champions League and the Premier League. It's just a progression, get right players in for next season. So let's just look at it that way. Too much negativity is not the way going forward, man. Everybody wanted the Premier League from day one. If someone said to you, would you swap the Champions League for the Premier League? Everybody will snap that hand off. So let's just keep it real here. You know what I mean, guys? And criticizing players individually is not the way. I already know what they're all about. I don't need you to tell me how bad they are. And how good they are. We already know that, or how in between. So just support the team, man. That's all you need to do now. They've done all they can. We've only had 11 players all season. They just reached their final stages of the season. They can't run anymore. I looked at that PSG game the other day. I watched it back. I know we're not supposed to watch it back when we lose and all that stuff, but I looked at them. They couldn't run anymore, man. They can't catch up with play. They can't make passes to each other. They can't do many things, guys. So we've got to be not selfish, but supportive towards them. Just for the final stages of the season, if you know what I mean, guys. I don't know what I'm gonna. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Yeah. This could be important. Yeah. Yeah, hello guys. Yeah, apologies. That's to do with my vehicle. I had a car accident a few days ago. Some idiot, a taxi driver, a black taxi driver hit my car. So I had to take it to the garage and get it fixed. That's what I was on the phone for. Yeah, crazy, crazy world that day, people. And the funniest thing about it, when he hit me, like he came into my lane and hit me. I was at a green light going not even 5 miles per hour. I wasn't even going that fast. And then he hit me on the side of my car and still was going when he hit me. And then he tried to blame me for it. And then when the insurance asked about it, he said like he disputed it. He said it's my fault. So yeah, it's listen, guys, the world's in a mess. I'm telling you, man. I don't think the guy was even fit enough to drive the taxi. You know what I mean? The way he was speaking. At first, he said like he couldn't see me because the car was like too low, and then now he's disputing that he doesn't want to like his insurance to pay for the damage, which is weird. Yeah, so I have to go through all that stuff recently, guys, man. Yeah, just avoid black taxis. Let me just don't go inside them. Just avoid them as a whole. When you're driving in the street, just go the other direction. If they're coming towards you, just turn around and go the other way. Just do that. Yeah, they're awful, absolutely awful, man. I couldn't believe it. Like, but now they have to check their CCTV footage. It was in Tower Bridge, yeah, around there. I have to check that just to see whose fault it was, and they will see the truth eventually. You know what I mean? He's not fit enough to drive. Let me just put it that way. He should not be driving. If he's saying it's my fault, he's out of his head. But it is what it is, man. You're not always going to avoid things like that. Yeah, so we're going to go to the press conference. Then we're going to talk about, obviously, Liverpool. Everything concerns Liverpool Football Club. We will be back later on around 3 o'clock, I believe, with the other two. And then we're going to do a night panel show. Anton should be there and Grods. We'll check who's coming on. All right, let's go. Let's listen to Mr. Arne Slot.
It's always lying.
All good. Arne, first of all, Virgil said after Tuesday night that he still doesn't know what's happening next season. When do you need to know? When do you want to know what's happening with those three players and who's staying and who's going?
I don't know what's happening next season as well, in terms of results, but that's not what you mean. The only thing I know is that I want Virgil to be here next season, and all the rest is talks about contracts, and that's not what I do over here.
Yeah, apparently Virgil van Dijk talked after the game. You know what it is? When Liverpool lose games, we start hearing about the future of the players, which is weird, in my opinion. Why aren't you talking about that before the game? Why do you have to wait till after the game to talk about that? Disrupt our, momentum, which is, striving to win the league. That's the whole thing for me. I just want to win the league. Why do we have to talk about players' futures just to disrupt our squad? Then you think to yourself, this is rivalry thing, innit? This is what the rivals do. They try to make us angry. So our fan base hasn't got the players, and then the players read on social media, and then when they read on social media, they drop their form on the pitch. It's always like that. It's always like that. That's why I always say, just calm, man, calm. We are fighting for something. We are fighting for something. I understand if we're fighting for nothing. I can't remember them talking like this when we was, in the Europa League last season. Nobody was talking about the players' futures when we was losing games. But all of a sudden, Liverpool's challenging for the league, and then the Carabao Cup final, everybody's talking about us. What's going on here? Don't you get it? It's the same old story. Liverpool challenging for things. We're going to disrupt you some way, somehow, because we don't want you to win the league. There's about 7-8 teams that don't, maybe to say 19 teams that don't want Liverpool to win the league. You know what I mean? Because the world's always against Liverpool. So we've got to be careful as a fan base, guys. We've got to be careful. Don't fall for the trap, man. Don't fall for the trap.
Impacting planning at all for next season?
Oh, interesting way of asking things. No, it doesn't. Not for me, no.
Looking ahead to this weekend, though, squad-wise, I'm guessing Trent probably out. Konate, though, is he fit? And therefore, at right back as well, is it a straight choice between Jarell? Maybe Endo could play there?
Yeah, I think maybe even Curtis can play there, but and you can also play with a left-footed defender on the right side, which is what Newcastle are doing at the moment, but then on the opposite. So Trent is indeed not available. He will not be there at the final, but he's still to be assessed for how long it's going to take, but we do expect him back in the end of the season. And what about Ibu Konate? We didn't train yesterday. We were a day off, and the day before was recovery. So I expect him to train with us today, but let's see how he is.
Obviously,
It's good to hear about Ibu, isn't it? Everybody thought it was a serious injury, but it wasn't. I think he was tired, fatigued, and in the cramp and all that stuff. So he was doing too much. I've never seen Ibu like play this many games throughout the season. This is a new thing for him. This is a new thing for us. You know what I mean? And give the guy time to recover and obviously rest before the Carabao Cup final. Yeah, they know a few days now. He should be back. Hopefully he'll be back because we ain't got enough players to play at the back unless we're going to put Endo as a centre back and Kwanzaa as a right back, or Endo as a right back and Kwanzaa as a centre back. That's the only way we could play. If you know what I mean. I've always said it. We should have signed some players in the summer. We should have signed some players in January transfer window because this is gonna happen during the season. And there you go, people. We had a couple of injuries the other day. The game, didn't change when the substitution came on because we didn't have that, kind of players that could do that. But listen, it's happened. It's a learning curve. Next season, hopefully, we're going to come back stronger. Let me just put it that way. But yeah, Ibu should be back.
It's the chance for you to deliver your first trophy at the first opportunity as well. What would that mean to you to get the job done now, particularly as a response to the disappointment of Tuesday night as well?
Oh, not about the last thing. That has nothing to do with that. If we win or lose the final, in both situations, it will be a disappointment that we lost against Paris Saint-Germain. We're out of that tournament. But you play games like this, like against Paris Saint-Germain and like against Newcastle now, to win it. And that's also what we're trying to do. And we're really looking forward to it. To playing a final again, because you cannot take a final for granted, especially not in this country with so many good teams involved in every cup competition. So we're looking forward that we are part of it. And if you are part of it, of course, you want and try to win it. But that's probably what Newcastle wants as well. Thank you.
Hi, Arne. A lot of players in the squad have had their ups and downs over the years. Is it easy for them, because of that experience, to pick themselves up to go into a final, or do you need a little bit of, do you need to kind of put their arm around them and say, let's go again kind of thing?
No, that is the good thing about where we are in the league and the good thing about where we are now in the League Cup. So that it's a final. Everybody likes to play a final, wants to play a final. That's why one of the reasons why we go out of bed every morning and come here to train, because you want to win trophies, and this is a chance to win a trophy. So we're looking forward to that. And our league position is, of course, also a reason for us to keep on going. I've said it before. If you have to leave the tournament, I prefer to go out in the manner we did against Paris Saint-Germain than in the manner we did it against Plymouth. So I couldn't have asked for more for the players. Their intensity levels were the highest they've been this season, I think.
You can't ask for more than what they did, guys. Obviously, the Plymouth game is a different story because we put a team out there that hasn't played a lot and they just didn't perform on the day. You know what I mean? They got out-battled, outdone in the game. And, the team that deserved to win won in that game. So let's just be honest about it. You could say the same about the PSG game as well. If you look at it overall, the first game and the second game, you could say game and a half. One half we played all right in the second game, but if you add it all together, PSG was a better team, and you got to take it on the chin and come back stronger in the next coming seasons. I've never seen Liverpool Football Club in a while go to a different stadium, get dominated that we did against PSG, and I've never seen a team like PSG, even better than PSG in the past, come to Anfield and did what they did at Anfield as well. They had more control of the game. Sometimes they wasn't in the game, but they still knew what they were doing. That was it's like something Liverpool would have done years ago, if you know what I mean. I think some of the players haven't stepped up in that game at Anfield because, when you got the crowd behind you, Liverpool Football Club is something else. It's something else, and they didn't really clock onto that. This is why PSG did what they did. They took us to penalty shootouts, and they were confident. It looks like they've been, practicing. And our players just didn't expect that. They thought like we're 1-0 up in the away game. We're going to come back home. We missed a few chances in the first half, but we're still going to win this game. You don't go like that. You got to be in the Champions League. It's not a forgiving place to be. You know what I mean? You have to be clinical. You have to be. Remember Atletico Madrid a few seasons ago? What happened? We wasn't clinical like this game. And what did Atletico do? They started scoring goals, and then it took us to extra time, and they won the game by that time. So you can't be too comfortable in games. You got to be on, straight away. Be more. First of all, you got to be more tighter. Then you got to be more dominant in possession. Then you finish the chances that you have. Don't mess about in front of goal. That you can't show off. Just hit it in the back of the net. It doesn't matter how it goes in, if it's ugly or not. Just hit it in the back of the net, and that's what we didn't do in that game. And that's why I said that's why I'm more calmer than usual. We didn't deserve anything out of those 2 games. You know what I mean? You could say half of the game we did something at Anfield, but overall, PSG was a better team. And, we have to accept it for what it is and move on, because we've got other things to fight for. And I don't think people are grasping onto that. They think that we got the right to win the Champions League because we finished top of the table when it first started. No. Every other team knew, even if you finish top, you're still going to get a hard team along the way. So we're the only ones that fell for that trap. It didn't really work. Was we the best team in the Champions League in the beginning? Yes. But as time went on, the players started to tire because we keep playing with the same players every single time. And this is where we was warning people, and people didn't want to listen to us in the beginning. They're saying, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 blah. It happens. It's called being a footballer. Life of footballer is, in the modern day, you have to, interchange. You have to change players. It doesn't. Look at PSG before our game. What did they do? They rested 8 players. What did we do? We played all of our players against Southampton, apart from McAllister. You know what I mean? This is what I'm trying to tell you. It has to happen season in, season out. You need to rotate the squad some way, somehow. You don't do it, you get caught out, and that's the result you get at the end. So I don't want to be talking about the owners anymore. I'm done with that stuff. But you know what we need next season. Let's just be honest. So let's get back to this.
The way we started the game, we forced them to so many mistakes. We created a few very good chances, which we usually score. Yeah, I also liked the game because it was pure football. What it was about. So I've seen so many games recently and during my life where it's all about time delaying and dives and pretending to be injured and then continue. This was 2 teams wanted to go all in, attacking wise and pressing wise, without anything to add, just pure football. And again, big compliment for Paris Saint-Germain that they were able to beat such a strong Liverpool team.
Yep.
Some of the players looked physically tired on Tuesday, later on in the game.
There you go.
Have you got any worries over the physicality of it all? But, the Liverpool players have gone through lots of extra times in these finals before as well. So you got no worries about that if it does go into extra time on Sunday?
I think it's in the end quite normal that the players are tired in extra time, especially if the 90 minutes were so intense. So and you don't get the reward for that. But I think I made 5 changes. So 5 of the 11 that were on the pitch, and you can exclude the goalkeeper. So 5 out of 10 could never be tired. So I don't think that was the reason why Paris Saint-Germain was better in the last half hour than in the first 90. That had, in my opinion, nothing to do with us being tired.
You could say that. You could say it's nothing to do with being tired, but sometimes you got to look at the possession keeping, guys. Like we don't keep possession anymore. Like in the beginning of the season, we don't really turn players and glide past players like Gravenberch was doing, Szoboszlai was doing, McAllister was doing. We don't really do that anymore. We just lose the ball and try to defend continuously, which makes us more tired. If you know what I mean. Smart players, what do? They keep possession. If you can't go forward, you go back. You start again. You go around the pitch. You go the other way. You go the other way. You go in the middle. You go right front. You come back if you have to. And that's what we don't do. We just lose the ball for the sake of losing it. Listen, in the game against PSG, I've seen more, camera footage on the crowd than us holding onto the ball. Go and check it out, guys. And I said to the cameraman, man, get back. What's going on? As soon as he gets back, we've lost the ball again from a goal kick. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's something we've got to work on. I think our possession keeping has disappeared. I think a lot of players are hiding at the moment, and they could come off the pitch and start crying. I can't name them until I talk about them later on. but you got to do more on the pitch. I'm not looking for a donkey. I'm looking for a guy who can pass the ball and be creative, be more dominant, if you know what I mean. If you're playing number 10 role, and you guys know who I'm talking about. I mean, so yeah, there's a lot of players that say a lot when they're coming off the pitch, but when they're on the pitch, they don't say much. You know what I mean? And that's not the way to go on, if you know what I mean. So big up Joe, man. Yeah, crash of the Champions League, Carabao Cup final. Yes, from Jason. Big up Jason as always. Big up Cedric. Big up brother. I'm alive. Just an LOL. What was he saying? Started well in the game. Tired after a while. Yeah, listen, bro. If the substitutions is not going to make any difference, then we're in trouble, Cedric. That's the thing in my opinion. And I actually wish Kelleher should have started. We could say that a lot, guys. We could talk about this because I see a lot of people talking about Kelleher starting, obviously in the penalty shootouts rather than Alisson. But if you don't score your penalties, how are you going to make? How is the goalkeeper going to save anything? And you can't really argue about Alisson because Alisson currently is one of the best goalkeepers in the world. So. Yeah, this kind of stuff, like when we're saying Kelleher should have started, how do you know Kelleher would have saved all that stuff? I don't think he would have. I think they practiced more than we did. I think we came into the game thinking we're going to win it before we even kicked the ball, the way we was behaving, if you know what I mean. This PSG have warned us before the game. They're coming here to win. I mean, Luis Enrique said, we're going to win. That should be enough to fire you up as a player to give it that extra bit on the pitch, and which we did it. We did it. We started off well, like you said, Cedric, but we couldn't do nothing after that, bro. Like, we were just lost in the game, really. So yeah, like, it's not a game you could go and watch back and say it was a classic. We just got lost in it, really. So yeah, Kelleher can start. It ain't gonna make any difference for me. We didn't deserve to win that game. That's what I'm trying to say, Cedric.
But the players are able. There are 4 days in between to play Sunday again. Definitely.
Jarrell's had a little bit of an up and down season for him, I suppose. But when he's come on for you and done a job at right back, he seems to have adapted quite well. And now he's got an England senior call up. What does that say about
England senior call up? Yeah. That's what we think about. You know what I mean? We don't care, mate. This is all about Liverpool Football Club. We don't care outside that anymore. Those days are gone. International football is finished. Nobody cares. If I was Kwanzaa, I'd pretend I'm injured, man. Forget about it.
Sort of his attitude and the way he's applied himself?
Says a lot about his mentality. So last season, I think everybody saw what a talent he is. Then the season started with him starting and I changed him, as we all know, against Ipswich, and Ibu and Virgil were and
guys, like, have your say. Like, what's going on with the chat today? Only Cedric? Come on.
Are such a strong combination that he didn't play a lot, but every time he had to play, except maybe for the first 1 or 2 games, but afterwards, every time he had to play, everybody could see that maybe he's no longer a talent, because as a talent you don't have any setbacks, but the moment you get setbacks, it's about you, how you react. And I think he showed in his recent performances that he outgrew being called a talent, and that's probably what Thomas Tuchel saw and sees as well by calling him up. By giving him a call up, I think that's better to say. And he did really well the last few times he had to play for us. And even on a position he's not completely used to as a right fullback, but in my opinion, he has also the qualities to play in that position. He's strong, he's fast, he's very comfortable with the ball. And it gives us an extra quality if we play him, which we saw in terms of set pieces, because he was the one that was this far away of us qualifying for the next round by heading the ball on the post, because that was. I
think we forgot about that Kwanzaa header when he came on. It was great. It was a very good header. It's just like millimeters again. But the thing is, guys, what I've enjoyed more than anything in the last few weeks, Trent can defend again. You know what I mean? Trent can defend. You know what I mean? And that's more exciting than anything, in my opinion. He's finally concentrated on his defensive side. Not many people get past him anymore. It's not all about the creativity anymore with Trent. It's just like start with the defending, then you can move, to the next step of your game, which is the creativity side, which is easier for him. But yeah, Trent's been phenomenal. He will miss this game over the weekend. I think he'll come back after the international breaks, from what I've heard. It wasn't a serious injury.
One was not offside. So yeah, he showed mentality and that he had quality. That's already what we knew when we saw him playing last season.
And he's spoken this season about speaking to you about that decision at Ipswich, which we could have sent him, one way or the other, because you take up at half time, you come under a lot of scrutiny. But I guess the fact that, say, he's recovered from that, being able to got over that and sort of settled down and buckled down and tried to sort of do the best he can after sort of what could be considered a setback first game of the season.
Yeah, although if being substituted at halftime is a setback, then almost every player has more than a few setbacks during his career. I think it was more that people were a bit like, "Ooh," the way what I said after the game, that people were not used to maybe a manager or me being so clear about what I saw and what I did, and that in the end probably went to a situation that he got criticized more than was normal for a player that was taken off at halftime. And again, it's so good to see that he managed his way back into it. And now, already before the winter break, he already had a few good moments as well. And every time we now need him, he does really well. So I think mentality-wise, it might have been a good or a big moment for him that Ipswich came. Because now he experienced that people were not only positive about him like last season, although he made one or two mistakes back then as well. He also knows now he can fight his way back if people all of a sudden are not as positive anymore. And that is something I think every player...
Listen, Kwanzaa, he might not be a player that catches the eye for everybody else, but the kid can improve. Give him time. Every player at that age goes through phases like this in their career. They start off good. When they get found out, as time goes on, it's difficult for them. So they need to find a way out of that. So this is what he's trying to do now. Ever since he's come back recently, he hasn't let us down. If he plays as a right back, as the coach said, he's one of the best. If he plays as a centre back, he's one of the best. So sometimes criticism does work on players and sometimes it doesn't. But from what I can see in Kwanzaa's side, it is working. It is working. Some of the other players, I can't say much about that because it isn't working for some reason. But Kwanzaa, since he had to take that criticism from Arne Slot, he has come back stronger, in my opinion. So long may it continue, and hopefully, he'll become one of the best defenders that we have at the club.
Should experience in the start of his career, because a football career is never only going up, it's always going a bit like this. And now he knows he can fight back also after a situation he experienced at Ipswich, or after the Ipswich game.
Hi Arne. How is Darwin Núñez, and have you had to speak to him individually to try and pick him up after Tuesday?
Because of?
Penalty miss, he looked like he took the disappointment of the penalty miss quite hard.
Yeah, but I assume Curtis felt the same. I think every player that takes a penalty and misses it doesn't feel well, but it's not only the two who missed it, all the others didn't feel very positive as well after the game, because we lost a game of football and they took the responsibility. And in football, you can miss a chance and you can miss a penalty. And that is what can happen if you take the responsibility of taking a penalty. For me, I think we were closer to winning the game in the first 90 minutes, and then penalties is always, in my opinion, you need a bit of luck. But there are many people who say, you can influence that luck, which is also true, because the more you train, the better you do. But these players do train their penalties on a regular basis as well. But he missed, and that's not what you want. But I don't want to make anything more out of it than just missing a penalty.
Hi, Arne. You've spoken about not having as much time as you'd like on the training pitch, particularly at this time of the season. How much has that hampered the ability for those who maybe not played as much as they like to kind of force their way into plans? And thinking of, obviously, Harvey Elliott's been able to get into some minutes recently, but I think of someone like Federico Chiesa as well. If you're not on the training pitch, how much opportunity does he get to impress you and maybe force his way into your plans?
Yeah, that's of course more difficult because these players hardly train with the starters. If you look at our schedule in the last 3 or 4 months, so if we play, for example, on Saturday and then we play on Tuesday again, then on Sunday, the ones that have played on Saturday, they only do recovery sessions, so they're not on the pitch. And then it's the day before the game, and it's maybe 10, 15 minutes of tactics, where it's more walking football than playing football. So there's hardly ever a moment where they can compete with each other. But the day after the game, I'm always outside. My assistants and managers have great exercises, and the players always show themselves in these moments. So those are moments to show where you are, if you've improved, yes or no, and if you come closer to the players that are starting, and of course when they come in. But I agree with you that for the ones that don't start, it's not an ideal world that we have so many games, and that's completely true.
There you go, man. It's true. Like, what's the point in buying Federico Chiesa if you're not going to give him game time? It doesn't even make any sense when I look at Federico Chiesa not coming off the bench. You know what I mean? The guy's quality, no matter what we say, he's got his own thing. And as I said many times on this platform, not so long ago, that guy, the world was at his feet. Everybody wanted him. But, you know, what is the point? You're wasting a position on the bench for a player that's never going to come on if you don't really like. That's how it looks to me. There's one thing I criticize Arne Slot for, putting players on the bench that you don't trust. What's the point? I mean, I don't understand. You're wasting a position. I know Chiesa can be the difference. I know he could do something else that other players can't do, which is shooting, which is running with the ball. We've got a guy on the left wing that plays every game, can't get past a play anymore. I mean, we've been bribed into a player that's supposed to be Mane's replacement, supposed to get goals, supposed to create goals, supposed to run past players. Since he's been here, has he even lived up to the Mane, comparison? Like, can you compare both of them? Like, no, you can't. So it's a mess. It's an absolute mess on that left side. And all we keep hearing is he wants to go to Barcelona. I hope you go to Barcelona for free. I'll even take you there myself in a car if you want. Because I don't see anything of you that resembles anything of Mane Diaz. I honestly don't. I don't know what you're doing at my football club. I don't know why your dad keeps speaking like you're a special player. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe he wants you to take the easy way because you're finding it hard in the big time. Maybe that's what it is. I'm not here to talk about players like that, but I think we're getting bribed here with some players, man. It's just annoying. I mean, we go from there. Like I said earlier in the stream, I can't remember any teams coming to Anfield and doing what's been done to us in the last game. I can't remember with that old team, and I rate this midfield more than the old team. You know what I mean? But I might have to take that back because we got dominated both games, and we got wingers now that don't want to get past players. It's weird. It's very, very strange. But I think Diaz has been getting away with it for a while now, guys. I think people need to start talking about Diaz and his performances because it's not right what we're seeing. If he doesn't score, he's really irrelevant. He might as well not be on the pitch. Let's just put it that way. You know what I mean? And the sooner Gakpo comes back, the better for us, I think, because it's just not looking good, man. And if his dad wants him to go to Barcelona, listen, he can go with blessing, man, and just go, man. Just go. We need serious players that want to win championships. We don't need to beg players to play for Liverpool Football Club, if you know what I mean, guys. We need more than that. And I don't think we're getting it. I think we got mugged. Since I know, everybody talks about his wages, but if you're signing a new contract, you got to do more. You got to do more than what you're doing, and no wonder why they give him a low wage, as everybody is saying, because he's not good enough. I mean, when Mane came, he made sure he earned a lot of wages. He made sure he was going to give it his all on the pitch. You know what I mean? He left everything on the pitch. Mane was playing crap, and he still done something, which is creativity or work hard for the team and make sure we don't concede goals. Make sure you're the first line of defense. What does these guys do nowadays? Like they just run about doing this little arm thing, like you know, I mean, we're doing some crib walk. You know, what I mean, the cribs, you know, all this stuff. Ding 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 ding. Kendrick Lamar singing in the background. This is what we're doing. That's all I see. The arms going like this every time. Enough, man. Show us something. It doesn't even matter the fullback you're facing, you still can't get past. If he's even a 70-year-old fullback, you still can't get past him doing this arm thing every time. Like, yeah, let's drive this way, let's drive that way. It doesn't work, bro. You're crap. Come on, man. Stop talking about certain players like, you know, Nunez. I'm tired of talking about him. Talk about people like Diaz who don't do nothing, man. Hasn't done anything since he's been at Liverpool. Jota, another waste of space. Said this last season. I told a lot of people. He's going to get injured again. He's not going to be performing. He's going to be doing what he does normally. And I even compared him and Origi. That's how desperate I've become. I said Origi has more techs at Liverpool, more trophies, like major trophies at Liverpool than Jota. And Jota's supposed to be the next step to Origi. Has he been the next step to Origi? No. He's done nothing since he's been at Liverpool. Is he part of this championship winning team? No. He hasn't done enough to be even getting a medal. So, you know, we keep talking about certain players, but talk about the main players in the first team that don't do nothing, man. Soboslai, we're going to talk about him later on because I'm starting to get pissed off with him as well, guys. You know what I mean? You could cry when he's on the bench, but what have you done in the game? I'm not looking for a donkey. I'm looking for a guy who could create and shoot. I mean, each time you try to shoot, you pass it off eventually. What kind of nonsense is that? You're a grown-ass man. You don't need Salah's, you know, validation. You don't need Salah's approve. You know, to approve your shots. You don't need that. Shoot, man. You're a footballer. That's what you're all about. Come on, man. That Salah is the Messiah. He has to approve you to shoot. What kind of nonsense is that? That's just wrong, man. Every time he's about to shoot, oh, Salah, can I get permission to shoot? Oh, no? Okay, here you go. That's how it is. You got Diaz with a, you know, crib walk, and you got Soboslai with a fake leg. He's got more goals this season with his left foot than his right foot. Because in his right foot, for some reason, he's right-footed, by the way, it takes him ages. He wants to do this knuckle-hitting kind of shots, which is stupid. You know what I mean? You're not Ronaldo, bro. Just hit the damn ball. Why is it taking you so long to kick the ball, man? Come on.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Newcastle tomorrow in 2 days. People know.
Just on that, I mean, there's been a lot of talk going into the final. Newcastle haven't won a domestic trophy for 17 years, and this perception is a bigger game for them than it is for Liverpool. But I take it you wouldn't go along with that.
No, I don't go along with that. No, a final in this country is always special because of the fact there are so many strong teams in this country, in this league. So if you reach a final, it's always a big moment for them, but definitely also for us. Because in the end, although we've got 2 cup games in this country, but you can never take a final for granted. And it's not like this. For Liverpool, it happened last season, but we don't play every single season, every final. So it is special for them, but definitely also for us.
Just in terms of Newcastle, they've lost their left side, turned to lose goal and can be good. And you've obviously lost Trent Alexander-Arnold. How do you think that will affect the balance of the game potentially?
I said it 1 or 2 days ago in an interview as well. I think in this part of the season, especially in England, it's almost impossible to have all your players fit. And I think both teams have maybe 2, 3 or 4 players that are not that cannot play. And that's almost a privilege because so many teams have had during the season more than 2 or 3 injuries. 2 or 3 injuries is probably the minimum you can expect in a league like this after 4 months of non-stop football. So it's a big compliment to the staff of Newcastle and our staff that so many players are available. And yes, Trent is a very important player for us. And yes, Anthony Gordon is a very important player for them. But the good thing for both managers is that there are still a lot of quality players available for both managers.
Alrighty then, people. Alrighty then. That is done. That is done. Sorry about that. I don't know what's happening there. Let's change this up. Yes, as you can see, it's all done with the press conference. They talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold and all that stuff. I ain't got time for that, man. Is he that important? Like in regards to the team winning? Yes and no. You know, it depends what Trent we get in it. It depends what Trent we get. So let's just be realistic in that one. I'm looking forward to the game, of course, against Newcastle. It ain't going to be easy. As the coach said, both teams are missing some players. So I'm just doing some stuff while I'm talking. Trying to multitask. Not bad at all, eh? Yeah, so I don't see it as an easy game, especially with the injuries that we have at the moment. Trent is going to be out. I think Gomez still out. And Konate is a doubt, but I'm sure he will start the game. I think Kwanzaa's going to be the right back for the game as well. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Let's put it that way. But yeah, I'm expecting us, to perform in the game. It's one of those games. It's kind of like, can we win it or can we not? What I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm in that situation at the moment because of the way we've been playing recently. We haven't been playing as the Liverpool that we know. We've been playing like a tired Liverpool in the wrong time of the season, if you know what I mean, guys. I wish we beat Newcastle away. I wish we beat Man United at home. You know what I mean? I wish we beat Everton away, but you can't get everything. You can't get everything that you want. It's part and parcel of football. Let's just put it that way. It's sad, you know what I mean? Because if we did, we would have been like putting our feet up ages ago, resting players, and then probably we'd be in the next round of the Champions League. Let's just put it that way. But it doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? If we had the depth, if we had the players that we needed that I've been speaking about for a while, then, we'd be in a better situation. So let's just put it that way. You keep the chat coming in, guys. I've still got more stuff to talk to you guys about, which is the transfers and what lineup should we go with in the game. And then we're going to come back on tonight. I think, like I said earlier, there's two guys. The two guys are coming on later on, which is Nalante and JK, who are smashing it on here, by the way. Brilliant guys. Absolutely brilliant guys, man. But let me just say, in the Carabao Cup, it ain't going to be easy, guys. I'm being serious. It depends on our players, how they're going to come out. If we're going to come out full throttle, if we're going to come out like Liverpool that we know, pass the ball, pass the right passes, make the right movements, open up Newcastle and, and win the game that way. Or are we going to play like the Liverpool we've been seeing recently, which is, tired, making rash decisions on the pitch, passing the wrong passes, lack of creativity, missing chances when they need to be scored. But a lot of things like that. A lot of things like that can happen to us. But as I said earlier, I want to speak about, obviously, certain players that we don't really speak about a lot. I talked about Diaz earlier. I think this should be his last season at Liverpool. I don't want to see him at Liverpool anymore. I think we need better than this. I think we've been bribed into a player that's nowhere near the Mane level. Let me just put it that way. I'll end it there with Diaz. I don't want to be, thrown about like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm telling you, people, he ain't gonna get any better. He's almost, 29? Let me see his age, man. I think he's about 29 now. That's why I said, just give Federico Chiesa a chance, man. Let him run away with it. He's 27 now, Chiesa. Just give him a chance now, man. Enough of this throwing Diaz when Gakpo's injured. He's 28. He's going to be 29 next year, January. So he's almost 30. If he has to go, he can go. I don't care. I really don't care, because I look at the standards Mane has set to this is night and day, guys. Let's be honest, man. This is just terrible, man. We're begging a guy to dribble past, old players sometimes. He can't even do that simple thing, if you know what I mean. And it's not right. It's not right. So as you can see, Salah is a February Player of the Month for the Premier League. Congratulations to Salah, by the way. Great. I see a lot of people have been got Salah as well, saying he's not good enough. He's not good enough in the Champions League. He's a Champions League winner, though. He's won the Champions League. So how can he not be good enough for the Champions League if he's won it already? Come on, man. He scored in the Champions League final as well. And although he's a penalty, he's still there scoring goals. Penalties are not easy to take. If you play football, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, so when people are coming out with Salah, you know, he's not good in the Champions League and all that stuff, that's just wrong. Don't say that. He's a Champions League winner. You know what I mean? And he's been there, done that. He's a World Club Cup winner as well. So he's done something the greatest Liverpool teams didn't do in the past. So take it easy on him, man. Take it easy. This guy could be potentially, at the end of the season, the greatest Liverpool Premier League player of all time, whether we like to say that or not. I know everybody talks about certain Stevie G, but you know, two Premier Leagues, one Champions League, you know, and the rest he won every other cup. Can't really argue with that, man. So let's take it easy on Salah, guys. Like, don't insult the guy just because he has like a couple of bad games and all that stuff. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world, man. I just don't understand it. But as I said about Diaz, it's time to go. Darwin Núñez, I'm being serious. It's time to go as well in the summer. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you guys lies about that. He just doesn't cut it. But I'll discuss it as time goes on. Diogo Jota, what has he done? What has he done since he's been at Liverpool, guys? You know what I mean? I don't need to say much about that. What has he done since he's been at Liverpool? I need more. I mean, I don't want to see an injury-prone player all the time. I need more from Diogo Jota. And when we win the league this season, he's going to be getting a Premier League medal for actually what? Yeah. So, yeah. I didn't want to be negative, but I just get frustrated when people, you know, talk about certain players that do things and then they leave out the players that don't really do things, if you know what I mean. I want to be positive. I do want to be positive. Let me just put it that way. I do, man. Yeah, so I want to talk about, obviously, the transfer. But let me give you the starting lineup before I go, yeah? Let's to the transfer. Let's do the starting lineup. So the starting lineup for the Newcastle game. Please keep the comments coming up. Keep the comments coming up. Yeah, I mean, yeah, let's go. Obviously, Alisson in goal, innit? Alisson in goal. Konate has to start if he's fully fit. It should be all right, they said, so let's just wait. Trudon says crip walk. It was, man. That's what he does. That's what Diaz does. He does the crip walk all the time, bro. Like, have you seen his arms? You know the Kendrick Lamar tune in the NFL final. It's like this every time. I'm tired of it, man. I ain't here for crips. I mean, man, I ain't here for bloods either. Even though we're bloods, but enough of that nonsense, man. I'm tired of it, man. I'm moving on. Walk it out. Yeah, this is my. I think, yeah, Robbo's got to rest, man. Enough of Robbo, man. Had enough of Robbo. Let him rest. Give the guy a chance, man. Give the guy a chance. I think Endo should play this game, man. I really do think. I think McAllister and Gravenberch could go further up. Rest Soboslai, man. The donkey. You know what I mean? I don't need no donkeys, man. Just let him rest. Go back to the three in the midfield, if you know what I mean. The likes of this, yeah. Something like this. Just to keep the game tighter, guys, so we don't overextend things. Like what happened in the PSG game, they run behind us so many times. It got frustrating. Let me show you what happened. Oh, what am I doing? Sorry about that. I know I said I ain't gonna be negative, but sometimes you get frustrated when you see the same play every single time. So, and some players are bribing us. Got to talk about that. What angered me in the other game, guys, is this area was free a lot. Each time the ball went over the top of our midfield, they were free over here and they attacked our defense. Hence why the goal was scored as well. So we need to keep that bit solid in the cup final. That's why I put 3 instead of 2 here. And then you could play it 3 up front, if you know what I mean. Bring Gakpo back. If he's fully fit, bring Gakpo back, man. I'm tired of watching the same runs every game. Obviously Salah on the right. Oh, damn. I gave away my secret. Damn. Oh. Yeah. I'll play Darwin, man. What can we do, man? Just give the guy say goodbye to him. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, this is what I'll go with. I mean, tell him like to start running around in it. That's all we need him, so he could open up spaces for these two who score the goals nowadays. You know what I mean? So if he could run the defense ragged, we'd be all right. So something like that. Like, like the reason I do that because I think our midfield get overrun way too much now. But if we play 3 there, we'll be more solid. I mean, so you got the fullbacks, the 2 fullbacks, and you got the 3 in midfield. Make it more congested, so when Newcastle get the ball, they can't play it through. That's why I bring on Endo and take off Szoboszlai, because I honestly think Szoboszlai hasn't played well for the last 2 to 3 games now. I'm getting fed up with it. I mean, this on and off performances is too much, guys. It's really, really too much. So that's my starting lineup for the game. That's my starting lineup. If I had my way, that is. So what I want to talk about next is a transfer. So we could talk about certain players. I think people want certain strikers and that. So I want to start with the strikers. Then I'll tell you another time what I need in my team for next season as well. There's a lot of talk going on about a certain player who plays for Newcastle and Atletico Madrid. So I'll tell you why I prefer the other player. So let's do this. Let's get to the chat first of all. Sorry about that, guys. I know I'm doing a lot of stuff here. Okay. Big up, JK, bro. Big up. Trent, not for the season, bro. I don't think it was as serious they thought it was. True. Big up, AK. I know Newcastle in the final. I know, bro. I know. Lame, bro. Yeah. Nah, no crib walk. We play in red. We are the Bloods. I think we also go to the cribs, in it. That's why I'm saying that, bro. Shoot, man. And it's as simple as that. That's why I wanted Chiesa on the pitch. That's all he does. There you go, JK. But not enough people talk about that, mate. Like, we're hesitant in shooting outside the box. It's getting boring now. You know what I mean? Like, we're not doing the basics of the game, which is, troubling the goalkeeper. Anything can happen if you take shots. Anything can happen. They could go inside. They could go, make the goalkeeper parry the ball to someone. It could be an own goal. But we don't try it. We don't try it, bro. Big up, Alexandra, brother. Big up, bro. I know I tried to be not negative, but it gets hold of you eventually. Big up. We need to be better in the final third. Yeah, I think so as well, Alexandra, bro. 100%. I agree with you. Yeah, the fact that people are going after Salah, look at the guys he's working with. PSG forwards are miles better than them. Like sometimes as a player, you got to put yourself in a position. You got to be proud. You know what I mean? Have the minerals. Have something about you to save you from embarrassment. And I don't think we did enough of that, brother. I don't think we did enough of that in the games that we played. That's why I say I'm not arguing about the PSG game. You know what I mean? We see this guy draw every season. He's in our team. He's been here for 5 seasons. What has he done? He's done nothing for us. So we've got to talk about that. Mr. Tipso, big up, bro. Greetings. Yeah. So I'm going to go to the transfer, guys. Yeah. Let's speak about that. So this is what I want to do in the summer before I leave. Let me talk about this. Let's talk about the transfers. Yeah, so greetings, Mr. Tipso. Big up, brother. A lot of us are talking about Isak and Alvarez finally. The one I've been talking about for a while. People have finally woken up to that. I see it all over social media. Like people talking about Alvarez. I said, hey, who did they steal that from? I wonder. Right? This guy, I've been talking about him in a previous stream. If you look at my videos, the pre-recorded ones, the first one that comes up, the latest one, sorry, then you see me talking about this guy and why he should be at Liverpool Football Club, if you know what I mean. So let me give you what Liverpool fans want. They want, some of them, they want, another number 9. I said there's only one number 9, but yeah, they want Isak as their number 9. Yeah, Isak only brings you just being as a number 9, really. It doesn't bring you outside that anything. He might, I might have seen him play off the striker, but is he that good? I don't think so. You know what I mean? He's more, you know, of a out and out number 9 than a guy that can play in every other position, if you know what I mean. So you're only getting one player for one position, and that is it. You're not going to get more than that. That's what I'm trying to say. So let me let me put Isak there. So with Isak, that's all he's going to bring you. Just number 9 position. Is more, people compare him to Henry. I don't think he's anything like Henry. You know, he's just a striker, but you know, fox in the box kind of striker. That's what I'm going to say. That's what he is, and he's not going to bring you more than that. Let's just put it that way. So he's always around this area. That's what you see of Isak. He doesn't really go deep unless the ball's in their half, and he has to come deep and then run forward. That's what it is. But he's always around in and around the box where the arrows are to score goals, if you know what I mean. Pace, power, great player. I wouldn't say no if he comes to Liverpool Football Club. But do I think he's suited to us? No, I don't think he does. What Liverpool need, because of the formations that we face, is more than Isak. You know what I mean? In my opinion, it's more than Isak. I think Alvarez is the one. I'll tell you why Alvarez is the one. I haven't explained it on here before, so let me do it for you today, yeah? It's today? Yeah, it's today. So I gave you the number 9 striker, which is Isak. So let me give you Alvarez reasons. Liverpool always face teams that's deep line defending when we need to open them up, right? When we're better than that team, I'm saying, like, when we're better than that team, they'll do anything by any means necessary to stop us from playing, so they could get counter attack, get a goal, and then they defend, and we come out of position and they score another one. This is what we face majority of the time. So let me show you obviously on the pitch what they're doing against us. In these areas, they're more like just there. They don't really move from that area. So we find it hard, you know, to get the ball going past them. You know, it's very, very difficult, as everybody knows for years. It doesn't matter the manager. It's always the same outcome, even with Jurgen, Rafa Benitez, you know, Gerard Houllier, Roy Evans, Graham Souness, you know what I mean, people like that. We don't have that fear factor yet. You know, the fear factor teams just, you know, when they play this type of formation, we'll still beat them. We don't have that. Until we get that, we need to find a way to get there, if you know what I mean. And with Isak, I don't see that happening, because he's just going to be another striker that's going to be goal hanging and find nothing up there, if you know what I mean. But with Alvarez, what I like about him, he gives me Isak and he gives me Firmino vibes. 2 players, that is. And, you know, at wide, Salah, Mane, whatever you want to say. So he gives you 3 players in one, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. 150, whatever it is, it's not a lot of money if you're going to avoid buying 3 players. You know what I mean? You're only going to buy 1. So what I like about him is he could play deeper role. We've seen him do that for Newcastle when Haaland was up front. You know what I mean? So let me get another player up there. When Haaland was up front, he was a number 10, taking set pieces, you know, creating chances, you know, coming from deep. So if games we need to revert to the Firmino role to help out that midfield, he can do that. I mean, it depends on the game. That's what you got to look at. You got to look at overall game. There's some games we could play him as an out-and-out number 9, and there's some games we need a Firmino type of striker to go back deep. And this is what he brings. Players get injured, he can cover most positions, like on the right, on the left as well. And as I said, he could play as a number 10 if you have to play him as a number 10. But most of all, he's a number 9. He's clinical, guys. Deadly in front of goal. Absolutely deadly. So when team deep line defend, he could come deep, take the ball, score goals. You know what I mean? He could be here. Someone's going to put the ball through. He'll score goals. That's what he does. That's what he lives for. You know what I mean? And this is what I'm trying to say to you guys. It's 3 players in one. So you don't have to look for other players. Sometimes you have to look for a striker, you have to look for a wide man, and you have to look for number 10. You've got 3 players in one. If you've got strikers already on the bench, you don't really need another strikers on that stuff, do you? So this is what I'm trying to tell you. He can play 3 positions, which is the 3 front positions. and even the one deep number 10 as well. And he could take set pieces at the same time as well. This is why I vouch for Alvarez. This is why a lot of people have finally, ding, the light has, come to their head. They realized maybe Alvarez is the one. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. And he's Premier League proven. He's already won the Premier League. He's won the World Cup. So he knows about the Premier League, how to play in it as well. So what I said was, why don't we, if you look at my previous stream, do this? Give Atletico Darwin Núñez. They give in return Alvarez. We put cash on top of that, and then we sorted everything, all the issues. I think Darwin Núñez will be better at Atletico because he's hardworking, he's quick. The football over there will suit him more because it's a slower football. The pitches are wider. He could run onto, you know what I mean, with his power and pace. This is what can happen. This is what can happen, and this is how I see it. Because with Isak, it'd be difficult because the amount of money you have to give Newcastle. They're looking for probably 120, 150 for him. And I think that's too much. That's too much for a player that only gives you one option at front. When a guy who can give you multiple options at front, you could get him for cheaper. And you could get, at the same time, get rid of a player that you don't need anymore. And so you're not going to be losing a lot of money. This is what I'm saying. Alvarez has always been the one that we needed, but we didn't get him. We let Man City get him. And then he had to leave. So this is how I see it. This is what I want. This is what I've been talking about for a while. And now I see people on Twitter trying to take, the limelight out of that and, saying they figured it out. I said, no, I said this a while ago. You look at what we need. You look at the player that can make the difference on the pitch. He's quick. He's clinical. He's both-footed. He builds up play. He could go deep. He could go right. He could go left. Army Swiss knife. Army Swiss knife, guys. And this is what Alvarez can do. And Atletico always negotiate. They don't keep players. Rodri, Partey, etc. Griezmann when he left and he came back. I mean, they're not that type of team. As long as you make a good deal with them, they'll take the deal. That's what it's all about. And this is what I want. I mean, we've been mugged off with Alvarez. He's the one that we need all these years. We just didn't look at the right, department. Darwin Núñez was never the one. He was never the one. Big up, Gene. Big up. It was Alvarez the one. Could have got him for 15 million from River Plate or, in Argentina. Could have got him for 15 million. Big up, Gene. Big up. But we didn't do that. That frustrated me. I mean, when I look at this player, guys, he's everything Liverpool need in a player and more. But yeah, nobody looks into that. We just look at the flavor of the month. He's scoring goals. How many players have we seen play for Newcastle and all these other teams that come to big teams and didn't even perform, Europe and domestically? So what you need is a player that can perform in European stage and domestic stage. And this is what Alvarez does on a continuous basis. Even international football, he's one of the best strikers in the world. So it's all round play. You know what I mean? And you're not gonna get anything more than that. Alvarez is the one, guys. I'm telling you. Swap them around, man. Swap Núñez and Alvarez. Great deal but great business. Great business. You don't have to spend a lot. You don't have to spend a lot. Give them Núñez. We get Alvarez. If they want some cash, we'll give them some cash on top of that. Simple as that, man. But I don't think people look into things like that. We're all looking for the glory thing. We're following the leader. When people say, Isak is the one. But Liverpool don't spend a lot of money. They don't spend, over 100 million on players and all that stuff. They don't do that. So you got to think smart. What's the better option in swapping players and a little bit of cash and coming the other way? There you go. These two. That's the best option I can give you guys. Think about what I'm saying, man. Been saying this for a while. But nobody listens, man. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I will be back at 9:30 tonight with a panel show. Please tune in. And at 3 p.m., I believe, around 3-ish, there's going to be JK and Alante here doing their own stuff. So please tune in today. And that's me done. I've had my little tantrum. I've had my little debate. But I'll see you soon, people. Appreciate everybody that's on, as always. Thanks for the support. Road to 300, of course. Sorry, I did say I'm not gonna be yelling. I'm not gonna be having a go at players and all that stuff. But sometimes it gets frustrating, and you look into the games, how it comes about. But we've got to support everybody, guys. Like, to the end of the season, we've got to support everybody, man. We've got to support everybody. Take care, everybody. Take care, Gene. Thank you very much for tuning in. You too, Gene. You too. Take care. Bye-bye.